to the next session on operations research. In this session, we will start with the next topic of sequencing in OR. What is sequencing? Sequencing in operations research refers to the process of determining the optimal order in which a set of tasks, jobs, or operations should be performed. The goal of sequencing problems is typically to minimize some objective such as total time, cost, or tardiness, while respecting various constraints. So in sequencing, what we will do is we are going to arrange a certain task or jobs that will be given to us in a particular sequence such that the time required is minimum for the operation or the cost which is involved will be less. Also, the idle time should be less for the workers as well as for the machines. So we are going to sequence them. Sequencing problems arise in many different areas of operations, including manufacturing, project management, and service systems. So these are the places where you may face sequencing problems which need to be solved. Common problems in sequencing include the first one is job shop scheduling. In job shop scheduling, there are multiple machines and jobs. So when you have many machines and many jobs, you want to know which job you want to place in which order, and it has to go through which order of machining such that the time required is less, the idle time of the machine as well as for the workers who are working is less, and the cost involved is minimum. Each job consists of several operations, each requiring a specific machine for a specified amount of time. The challenge is to determine the optimal sequence of jobs and operations on each machine to minimize make span. It is the total time needed to complete all jobs or total tardiness. So you want to reduce all the idle time, you want to do your job completion on time and in a particular sequence such that your time and cost is less. Example, manufacturing plant with multiple machines, each processing different operations on jobs. So in a manufacturing plant where you have many machines and there are many jobs which have to go through many machining. For example, a particular job may require some turning, so you need the lathe machine. You may have to use some shaper machine, or you may have to use grinding or drilling, milling. So if you have so many operations to perform, every job will require every machine for a particular duration of time and in a particular order, in a particular sequence of performance, you will have to use them. So when you schedule them, that is called as job shop scheduling. The next one is flow shop scheduling. A flow shop involves multiple jobs, each of which must go through a fixed series of machines in the same order. So in flow shop, what happens is there will be many jobs and they will go through a fixed series of machines. For example, they will go in the order of M1, M3, M4, M5, then M2. So all the jobs will go in this order only. The goal is to determine the optimal sequence of jobs to minimize the make span or idle time. So you want to know what is the optimal sequence of the jobs. So say there are 5 jobs, so you can have this order 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. This order is what you want to know. An assembly line where each product passes through the same sequence of machines. So in assembly line, yes, while you are making particular product, it has to go through the same sequence of machines. So you want to know in which order you are going to place your jobs. The next one is single machine scheduling. In this case, there is just one machine and the problem involves determining the best sequence for processing jobs to minimize some objective like total processing time or lateness. So this is about the single machine scheduling, when you have only one machine and many jobs are going to pass through it. Example, a single CNC machine processing different jobs in varying times. So this is an example. Next is parallel machine scheduling. This involves scheduling jobs across multiple machines that can process jobs in parallel. The objective is to balance the load across machines to minimize the make span or total completion time. Example, several workstations in a factory where each workstation can perform different tasks simultaneously. So you can have different workstations. So you have one workstation here and the other one here. It is possible that the jobs will go through this and then go through this and get out from here. Or it is possible that there is a particular set 1 which is entering from here, set 2 is entering from here, and then they interchange and they leave the system. So this is an example of parallel machine scheduling. The next one is key concepts in scheduling problems. The first one is make span. The total time taken to complete all jobs in a sequence is your make span. Minimizing make span is common in job shop and floor shop problems. So you want to reduce the time that you require to complete all the jobs. Next is tardiness, the delay beyond a job's due date. Minimizing tardiness is a common objective in project scheduling. This is something which we definitely look out for. We want to always avoid delay. Whenever the customer has given us the due date, we would always want to supply the goods made to the customer on that day, if not earlier. But we would never prefer going late, because then the customer will not be satisfied. They will leave your company and they will shift to some other brand. Flow time. The total time a job spends in the system from start to finish. It includes both waiting and processing time. So flow time will include both the waiting time, the time the material is waiting, to enter the next machine, and the processing time. Say it has to go through 5 machines and it requires some 5 hours. So this is the processing time. And say it had to wait 15 minutes in between or 30 minutes in between the two jobs. So that is called as a waiting time. Job completion time, the time at which a job finishes. It is important in problems where due dates and penalties are involved. So suppose if you have promised a customer to provide the products on a particular due date, but if you are not able to provide, it is possible that there will be penalties involved in it. Machine constraints. In some sequencing problems, job requires specific machines or resources that are available for limited time slots. So this is called as machine constraint. The machine will also have its own constraints apart from the other constraints, because it will be available for a particular slot for a particular duration of time. Now we'll talk about the classical sequencing models. There are 4 of them. The first one is Johnson's rule for 2-machine flow shop scheduling. Johnson's rule provides an optimal sequence of jobs to minimize make span when there are 2 machines in series. The rule is simple and involves selecting the smallest job sequencing times, then sequencing jobs based on their times on the 2 machines. So suppose if you have 2 machines given to you, machine A and machine B, there will be some time given, say 10, 15, 12, 10, 15, 12, then you have 6, 7. Some time will be given. That is the time required for each of them. So there are 4 jobs. So accordingly, how will you find the optimal sequence? For jobs with 2 machines, find the job with the shortest processing time on either machine. So first we will have to scan both the machines. If you see, the minimum time over here is 6. So you will start with this. So on one end you will write A and on other end you will write B. You will start with the minimum value, that is the job sequence. It will start with 4. So this is now gone. The next thing is, if it's on the first machine, schedule it as early as possible. If it's on the second machine, schedule it as late as possible. So what you do is, if this minimum would have been on B, we would have written 4 at the end, because it should be towards B. Since this number is of A, so I've written it towards A. So like this you can remember. So next is, minimum is 10. 10 is here and here both, but we will always give preference to machine A. So 10 for A is here. This also gets cancelled. The next one is 10 here. So this will be written towards B because it is belonging to B. So 2 will be written here. This is also cancelled. Now amongst these 2, there is only one option left and one position left. So this is where you are going to write. So this is the optimal sequence. You will read from left to right. 4, 1, 3, 2. For this data that I have written. Repeat until all jobs are sequenced. So that's what I've done. I have followed this method. So this is called as Johnson's rule. We will be solving numericals based on this topic in the next session. The next method is longest processing time (LPT) rule for parallel machine scheduling. The LPT rule is used to minimize make span in parallel machine scheduling. Jobs are scheduled in descending orders of their processing time. So in LPT, what you do is you are going to schedule the jobs based on the processing time but in the descending order. Weighted shortest processing time WSPT rule for single machine scheduling. The WSPT rule is used to minimize weighted tardiness by sequencing job with the smallest ratio of processing time to weight or importance. So here what you do is you want to minimize the tardiness, that is the delay. You do not want delay. So for that what you do is you are going to sequence the jobs with the smallest ratio of processing time to weight or importance. So you will make a calculation of processing weight and time, and accordingly you are going to sequence the jobs. You will have the smallest value first and then the highest value. N jobs, M machines scheduling. For more complex cases where there are multiple jobs and multiple machines, heuristic or exact algorithms are often used to generate near optimal or optimal sequences such as branch and bound, genetic algorithms, or simulated annealing. So these are the other techniques which are used when you have more complex problems, like you have n jobs, many number of jobs, and many machines, so m machines. Applications of sequencing in operations research. It is used in manufacturing, minimizing production time and ensuring smooth flow on assembly lines, scheduling jobs to minimize machine downtime and improve throughput. So you want to reduce the idle time of the machine, that is the downtime, and you want to improve your production rate. Project management, sequencing tasks in project scheduling to minimize project duration and cost. So this is what you want to achieve. Resource allocation and task scheduling in construction projects. So this is another example. In construction projects, you want to have better resource allocation and task scheduling such that, say you're making a building, you want to allocate the resources to each floor, and you also want to complete the task in a particular time because you have already given commitment to the customers, the people who have already purchased the flats from you. So accordingly, you will have to manage. Third one is service operations, scheduling appointments or customer service operations to minimize wait times or service costs. Optimizing the sequence in which tasks are performed in call centers or maintenance services. So this is the example of service operations where you provide service to the customer. So what you want to do is you want to schedule appointments. For example, you go to the doctor or you go to call centers, they will always give you some appointments where you will be able to reduce the wait time. Whenever you go to the doctor, say you want to meet the dentist or you want to meet the cardiologist, you always book priorly and then you go to meet the doctor, such that your waiting time is very less. For example, if you're called at 10:30, you would reach at 10:30. You wouldn't reach there an hour earlier and wait there. Or if you're reaching at 10:30, you want your service to start within the next 5 minutes, such that you're not wasting too much of time waiting over there. Also, the service cost. This is also something which is very important. You would also want to reduce the cost involved in the service that you are obtaining. The fourth one is transportation and logistics, optimizing the sequence of deliveries or pickups in transportation networks, routing and sequencing in warehouse management or parcel sorting. So this is another two different examples. The first one is where you're sequencing the deliveries. For example, you want to deliver products to a particular zone X, and there are, say, 5 addresses over here where you want to deliver. So you would want to deliver the packages such that you are reaching in order. So they will not be in order. These are just the orders where you have to give. So it is possible that on your way, the first house that you meet is 2, then you meet 4, then you would meet 3, then 1, and then 5. So in this order, you would want to give, say they are all on the same lane. So they are staying in different buildings and you want to deliver some products. So obviously you will start from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not in this order 2, 4, 3, 1, 5, such that you are reducing your time. Routing and sequencing in warehouse management. Same way when you are managing the warehouse or you are sorting the parcels, when you want to deliver the parcels. In the same way you are going to deliver them by optimizing the route. Solving sequencing problems. Sequencing problems are typically NP hard, meaning they become computationally challenging as the number of jobs and machines increase. It's obvious, if you have too many jobs and too many machines, it becomes very difficult to arrange them. As such, they are often tackled using a variety of methods such as exact algorithms. These algorithms guarantee an optimal solution but may be computationally expensive for large problems. Example, dynamic problem. We have already solved dynamic programming. You have seen that it takes a lot of time. It is computationally going to be quite difficult also and expensive as well. Branch and bound is another type of example for exact algorithm. Next is heuristic methods. These provide good, though not necessarily optimal, solutions in less time. Example, greedy algorithms. Local search methods. Greedy algorithms involve the traveling salesman problem, where you may, out of greed, decide that you want to first visit an unvisited city without forming the optimal sequence. So in that case, it becomes a little bit difficult because solution may not be optimal because you have just made a rough guess. Meta-heuristic methods, these are more sophisticated heuristics designed to explore larger solution spaces such as genetic algorithms, simulated annealing, or tableau search. So these are the types of meta-heuristic methods. Again, your sequencing and traveling salesman problem are also a part of meta-heuristic problems only if they become too complex to solve. In summary, sequencing is a key problem in operations research that deals with finding the most efficient order for processing tasks to optimize specific objectives, whether it's minimizing time, cost, or other performance metrics. The solution to a sequencing problem depends on the context, available resources, and constraints of the system. So you'll have to first decide what are the constraints. You'll have to optimize your sequence such that you are saving on time, cost, idle time is not there, the workers are continuously being engaged. So accordingly, you will have to plan out. And sequencing is used in most of the cases, as you have seen. It is a very big concept of operations research and it is widely used. So with this, I end the session. I hope you have understood the lecture. If you have any doubts, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for latest video updates. See you in the next session. Thank you.